as a state with Philadelphia and Pittsburgh on two sides and Alabama in the middle. Everyone looked and acted alike, working in factories in the summer. Few of us considered college. When I was a kid, my dad would ask me and my brother to watch him fix broken appliances so we would know how to fix things. I told him I didn't want to know how to fix things. I wanted to have a job where I'd be able to hire someone to fix things. Now, every time I call repair technicians, I rue the days when I actually thought I wouldn't mind paying someone to fix things. My siblings are still there in those same factories, and that makes me something of a black sheep. We don't fully understand one another's worlds. The one thing we have in common is a strong work ethic. I went to college because I wanted to go somewhere and do something different. When I got to college, my blue-collar work ethic paid off, and I gravitated to other kids like me. My best friends were all the first in their families to go to college as well. When I showed this picture to a colleague, he asked, "You wore that shirt to your yearbook photo?" I said, "Yeah, it was nicer than my other shirt." I think my friends and I bonded because we felt different. We were different from other students whose parents had been to college or were simply more affluent. My modest background played a role in my feeling isolated at times in college. I would call home, but I had to call collect, and I didn't realize how very expensive it was to call collect back in the 80s. Finally, one day my dad said, "Don't call anymore. We can't afford it." Later in school, my junior year, I think, I heard about something called graduate school. One of my professors suggested I get a master's. I decided to do it because it meant I could defer my student loans. After I finished my master's, some of my professors encouraged me to get a PhD. I decided to continue for the same reason, to avoid paying on my student loans. When I graduated with the PhD, my dad had a graduation party, one where he invites everyone to bring a dish to share, and all of his friends bring their guitars and they sing awful music. At my graduation party, one of my uncles walked up to me and showed me a rash on his arm, and he asked me what to do about it. I tried to explain that I was going to have a PhD, a doctorate in criminology, and he wondered if I was going to get a white coat. Eventually, I told him he should just cut down on his drinking. He said that's what his other doctor said. It wasn't until I was a practicing professor that I learned I was a first-generation student. That's a term I didn't identify with, but I matched all the characteristics as a student and as a faculty member because those experiences continue to shape us in our careers as well. A few characteristics of a first-generation faculty member. First is, at events like this, we're the ones that pocket all the snacks during the break. Two other signs of first-gen faculty members. First is, we don't know the difference between a red wine glass and a white wine glass. And the second is, we don't care what the difference is between a red wine glass and a white wine glass. Well, those of us who drink from whatever cups, we found each other at Old Dominion and gravitated to one another just as my friends and I had back in college. And we decided that we wanted to reach out to those first-generation students that were at our school. We created the First Gen to Faculty Mentoring Program to create opportunities for our first-generation students to connect with our 100 or so first-generation faculty members and staff members at our school. We used EAB's SSC campus to identify and reach out to those students because First Gen is coded in the program. We hosted a dinner in the fall and a game night in the spring, And perhaps the most important thing to note about these events is that the faculty found them to be just as valuable as the students. We've developed a mentoring program that allows and links together first-generation students and first-generation faculty so they can stay connected over the year. We've also created a website that identifies our first-generation faculty so students know where to turn with their questions or where to go if they want to share their stories. In the upcoming year, we're developing a First Gen Voices blog for students and faculty, and First Gen Fridays, small events that will bring together these students and faculty the first Friday of every month. It's my hope that these events can help to end some of the isolation that a lot of these students experience. I remember a young woman who came to freshman orientation all alone by herself. Her parents stayed home. They didn't think they'd be able to afford lunch, but lunch was free. This story signals that the cultural forces at work on our students also shape the experiences of their families. We are hopeful that we can honor these stories and improve these experiences. We are also hopeful that our efforts at Old Dominion can confront the hidden curriculum and impact whole families. We believe at Old Dominion University that changing a student's life can change the lives of their families, their communities, and their tomorrows.